Switch interfaces for the CCNA. So a switch is basically a device that uses MAC addresses to connect many devices on a local area network. Um, and the way it does this is that you take an Ethernet cable and you connect it to the device, and then you connect it to the switch, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about, the interfaces on a switch. So, a few things that you should know is that um, the interface on a switch, right? They use a speed of bits per second, right? Like kilobits per second, or mm, um, more commonly like gigabits per second, right? Um, and then they also use duplex, and duplex basically means the ability to send and receive data. So the reason why switches are really popular is because they are full duplex. They can send and receive data at the same time. Whereas like something like a hub, right, or those ones would be half duplex, which means they cannot send and receive at the same time. So courtesies to Jeremy's IT lab for putting this this Cisco Packet Tracer lab out here. But I've modified it a little bit, just so that I can get my points across. So we have 4 steps that we're going to try to do, right? So we have a switch and we have it connected to PC4 and PC3 and a router, okay? So what it wants to do is to configure the host name of the switch. So we would get our laptop, right? And then we are gonna get a console cable, plug it into the laptop, and then into the switch, right? And then we're gonna go into the laptop and we're gonna log in, right? And we're gonna go to its terminal and we're gonna. All right, so now that we're in the switch, we're gonna do enable and then conf t, and then we are going to change the host name. So host name, and let's call it switch 1. And there we go, we just changed the host name. Next, it wants us to manually configure the speed and duplex on interfaces. Let's say we're going to do the router interface, this one over here. So G0/1. So let's get into it. Let's go interface G0/1, G0/1, and then we are going to type speed, and then we can enter the speed. Let's do 1,000. Okay, and then that would be basically 1 GB per second. And then we want to do the duplex, so we do duplex, right? And again, we can do auto, full, or half. Let's do full, and by default it is set, it is full. No shutdown, just to make sure that it's not off. And then we can also add a description for this. So description, and then we're gonna say, let's say connects to router, right? And that's about it. And we'd have to add that to the end of it. And then step 4 would be to disable interfaces which are not connected to other devices. So on this switch, we see that 3 interfaces are connected to other devices, but what about all the other interfaces? Because this switch has many, many interfaces. So we know that 1, 2 are connected. So how do we disable the rest? So we're going to go here. We're going to end. Okay. And we are going to do this. We're going to do show interfaces. Okay. It's going to show us like a lot of interfaces. But this makes it kind of hard to read. So an easier way to read it, right, would be to do show interfaces status. And here it'll show us all of them and whether they're connected or not. So we see that 1 and 2 are connected and the rest aren't, right? So let's disable all the ones that are not connected. How do we do that? So we're going to go conf t and then interface range. And what range does is basically is calling upon multiple. So interface range f0/3 to let's say 224, and then disable them with the shutdown command. And now all of these ones were shut down. So if we want to see the command again, do show interface status, right? We see that all these ones have been disabled, right? And then we still see that G0/2 is not connected, so we're gonna have to go in and do that one. So it would be interface G0/2 and then shut down, right? And that's it for the 4 steps of today. Thank you.